Let's look at yesterday's notes that you were supposed to finish. We are going to do the two bottom ones together before we get started on our assignment. So the instructions are on the front of the notes. So I'm just going to refer to them on my other one. So step 1 says eliminate any parentheses by using distributive property. So if we look, we're going to distribute the 2. Carry this down. And then I have 2 times a negative 4. That is a negative 8. Negative 4x. You should not be talking. You should be listening and writing what I'm writing. Then 2 times 20 is 40. Then we have 5 minus 3x. There's nothing I can do there, so I'm just going to repeat it. Write it on a sheet of notebook paper if you don't have it.
Well, I have an extra one.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just playing. I can give it
So then we combine the 5 and the 40. We are going to carry down the negative 8x plus 45 equals 5 minus 3x. Then we need to get all of the x's on one side. So we're going to move the x's over by doing the opposite of the right side. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Yeah, I always try to move all of the x's to the left, and that's going to be helpful whenever we get to inequalities. You can move the smaller one over, and then you'd have a number equals x, but I usually try to get it to say x equals a number. So negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5x. And I carry everything else down. The next step says move all my constants to the other side. We're going to move them all to the right. So this 45 is on the wrong side. So I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. So I get negative 5x equals 5 divided by, or subtract 45. It's a negative 40. So it's negative 5x equals negative 40. So our last step says to divide by the number in front of x. I have negative 40 divided by a negative 5. Whenever I divide those, a negative divided by a negative, it's going to give me a positive, and it's positive 8. Then we're going to check our work. So let's review how to check our work. We're going to store in the 8. Then we're going to find out what the left side is. So 8, store x. Then do the left side. 5 plus 2, parentheses, negative 4x plus 20. So you store the number, then you write, or type in the left side equals, it's a negative 19. So to check my answer, I want to make sure that the right side, whenever they substitute in the value, it also gets negative 19. So I do 5 minus 3x. It's also negative 19. So I have checked my work. I know a lot of times it feels like checking your work is just extra work, but really it's to make sure you get the right answer. That way you can find out that you got it wrong and fix it so you don't get a bunch of points deducted on whatever assignment you're working on. Okay, we're going to do the one on the right now. So our steps, step 1 says distributive property. So we are going to distribute, the only parentheses I see are on the right side. So we're going to distribute the 6. So I'm just going to work on the right side right now. So 6 times 2 is 12x. And then 6 times 1 is 6. So step 1 was distributive property. Step 2 on my notes says combine any like terms on either side. I don't need to combine any like terms here, but if I look over here, I look for things that are like. So we have the x's. I'm going to underline them so I know which ones I'm combining. So I have a 10x and a 2x. That makes a 12x. And 6 can't be combined with anything, so it's 12x plus 6 equals. Okay, before we move our x's, look at both sides. What do you see about these? They're the exact same. So you need to be able to pay attention to find out if they're the exact same, then it's going to end up being infinite solutions. That means any number I plug in for x is going to work. So you can recognize it there and say infinite solutions. Or if you can go ahead and get all of your x's on one side by subtracting. So minus 12x on both sides. And they simplify out, they zero out. And our final step is just to write what is left over. And it's 6 equals 6. So that's one of those special cases, right? If it's a true statement, that means we have an infinite number of solutions. And if you're not sure if it's no solution or infinite, look at the top of your notes. See which one is it more like. Is it a false statement? Then it's no solution. Like this one was a false statement, so it's no solution. This one was a true statement, so it's infinite solutions. And then this one was an answer. So there are 3 different answers that you could get. You could get an answer, which is one solution. You can get no solutions, and you can get infinite solutions. You got 3 options. Go ahead and glue this in the next page of your journal, and I'm going to pass out your assignment. We're going to do this card sort, so I'm going to start with I. I'm going to help you with I because I is the one that we really haven't seen one exactly like this. So draw your line down your equal sign. We have a fraction to begin with, and everything on top, it includes a letter and a number on top. So we actually need to get rid of the fraction completely. The way you can get rid of a fraction is by multiplying everything by its denominator. So we're going to multiply everything by 5. So I put it in parentheses. You might want to start with I, the one I'm doing. That might help. So when we multiply by 5, we're able to cancel out the 5s. And then we're just left with the numerator, what's on top of the fraction. Then we do 2 times 5 is 10. Now we're left with a one-step problem because all we got to do to get x by itself is get rid of this negative 4. We add 4. So we get x equals 14. And then to check our answer, we're going to do 14 store x. Then to get this fraction, we do alpha y equals, and we have an x minus 4 over 5. Alpha y equals will give you that fraction, that blank fraction. Alpha y equals. And that equals 2, which is what we wanted. Okay, after I finish, I can help you. All right, now look at the bottom. So we got a solution. So that's a 1 solution. So on here it says write the letters of the problem in one of the columns below. We got 1 answer on I. So I goes in 1 solution. So go ahead and put I down here in the 1 solution. So 1 solution is when you get x equals a number. No solution is when you get a false statement and it has the no solution. That's like our special cases. Look back at your notes and you can kind of compare them. And then infinite solutions is whenever you get a true statement. You get infinity. So those are how you're going to sort your letters. So you need to complete at least 8 more. Anything above that is going to be bonus points. And it's due at the end of class.